And good evening and welcome to episode 17 of Endless Banter. As you can see, I think, let me just double check you can see us both. The big man is back this week. Welcome back, Paul. How's your week been? What you having? What you had for tea? What you drinking? And how you feeling?
I've had fuck all for tea. I've had them at Vicky's Gold Bar, 21 bars for £1 at fucking Farm Foods, mate. Fuck the fat cocks.
Tell me how many you can get through before band tells you to fucking pack it in.
What, the band?
Yeah. Tell me how you can go for. Tom, I've done 19 and the band said, fuck off.
You're playing me up, it has. Not playing me up, I keep getting fucking shit stuck.
Well, as I said to you, and I spoke to you earlier, I says, you do look like you've lost a little bit more weight. Well, honest, I do.
I've got another band fill on Friday, so I will find out. I don't even bother weighing myself anymore.
It's because you know it, you can feel it.
It is what it is, mate. If I put some on, I put some on. If I lose some, I lose some.
I honestly do not think you're putting it on, and I don't think you're staying stable either. I do, honestly, by looks of it, I feel like you're losing it still.
I think it might just because I had a shave, to be honest.
Oh, Paul, I'm not even joking. Someone sent me a picture the other day, and I am not joking. And I don't even know if it was before the band. It might have been. Did you shave before the band, or did you shave just after the band?
No, I shaved after. I had the band in July. I was at Expo with the beard. I had the band in July. Shaved my beard August before Emmy was born in September.
I'm going to try get this photo, and literally the beard is here. He's like here on the chin, and I'm not joking. I'm not not even. You take the beard away, you can just tell in your face how much weight you've lost.
I could tell myself when I look at some of my pictures, mate. Even with the beard on, I got proper bad hamster cheeks, man.
But you're looking good for it, so salute you for that, because it does take some balls to do what you did. So congratulations, and you are looking fresh. So how's the week been? Have you been to Land Rover?
Fucking phone me, actually. To be honest, I went in last week, didn't I? With a fault. And then there was like your turbo's fucked. So I was there. I got there at about, I was doing a live feed when I pulled in there, 10 to 9 o'clock, something like that. Pulled in. They literally took it straight into the garage because the engine management light had come on. So they come back and says to me, there's something wrong with the solenoid on the big, because it's twin turbo. It's got a small turbo and a bigger turbo to stop down, sort of cut out the turbo leg and whatever. And he's like, it's one of the actuators on the turbo's fucked. But he was driving perfectly fucking fine. There weren't nothing performance we weren't wrong with it, just the lights had come on. So I waited for nearly 2 hours for a car. Because I said, they want a 7-seater Range Rover Sport or a Disco 5 7-seater. I'm not fucking driving out of here with fuck all else. After 2 hours, I was like, seriously, just give me my car key. And I just fucked off in my own car. The light's gone off and it's been fine since. But I'm still waiting on reversing sensors.
No, fuck.
But I don't know if it was a glitch or what. I don't know. It's drove perfectly fine. The light hasn't come back on. It's performing okay. I don't know.
That's a bonus. Still need to get it over and finished and get out of there for 1 week. So, how's your week been so far apart from that then? Obviously, we've not got a big sort of... Did you get looked after? The question is, for the 2 hours, did you get your biscuits? Did you get your coffee?
I got biscuits off every cunt, man. She gives some biscuits to a woman, and the woman was like, oh, no, I'm all right. I don't want them. And she's like, I know someone who'll have them. Put me over. I've put fucking 2 stone on since I've had this bastard car eating your fucking biscuits.
So we've got some exciting news this week. You put up a status about some cotton that has been tested. Do you want to let people know a little bit more about the cotton? I saw you put up a post about a little bit of somebody trying to call shit. You can go into that if you want to. If you don't have to. But if you want to let people about what's going on with the cotton, I think they'll be pretty excited about it.
Now, as you know, we've been looking for cotton for a long, long time. And I asked you to get in touch with the company in California, who actually the sample should be here on Thursday, hopefully.
Fucking hell.
You've got 12 samples coming from there. And then I've been dealing with China for getting on for 5 years. And obviously, whenever they do something for me or supply me something, they always look, anything else, Mr. Paul? And I'm like, yeah, cotton, man. I want decent cotton that we can brand, but it's got to be good. Okay, we have pad. Stick your fucking Muji pads up your arse, love. I'm not interested in Muji pads. And then about 6 or 8 weeks ago, Chinese contact, because I can buy authentic cotton bacon from China.
Mm.
So they've obviously got stuff coming in from America, and I know there is one region in China that can grow cotton because you need a hot climate to grow cotton by all accounts. So the Philippines is a good source for cotton. I'm pretty sure that Shake and Vape and Fusion, which is both James Burr's cottons, are Philippine-based cotton.
Mm.
Most of the other cotton is America. But I know when I spoke to China in depth about 18 months ago about cotton, they were saying that, I don't know if it was the North region or the South region, but one of the regions was actually producing proper cotton as opposed to pads.
Right.
And then about 6 weeks
synthetic, pads are synthetic, aren't they?
No, I think I'm 99% sure Muji cotton is actually still pure cotton.
It's what they do to it after, though, isn't it?
I don't know what the fuck they do to it, mate. I ain't got a clue. I really don't know. I've only ever, I used to buy Muji because we used to give it away in the shop. I've never ever used a Muji pad. I didn't know whether you had to take the cotton off the pad, whether you had to leave the pad on. I didn't have a fucking clue, so I didn't ever use it. I didn't like it. And then, so about 6 weeks ago, one of my Chinese suppliers messaged me and says, we've sourced some cotton and also some build kits because we wanted to do a build and build kit as well with some, probably without all the shit in there, to be honest, more for people that already know how to build. So I'm thinking some rods to wrap your wire around, but more, not so much coil master kit stats. I don't want to do that because actually, I just think if you know how to wrap a coil, I never ever use my coil master kit. The only time I've ever used it is if I wanted 4mm and I didn't have a 4mm rod.
Yeah.
So we're looking at doing some oval rods and some different diameter rods, but I'm thinking oval rods for wider coils in a series to use better wire to give bigger, you know what I mean, to get your resistance up. So we're just looking at that at the moment. But basically, yeah, they said to me, we've got some cotton and it's fucking banging. And it comes as cotton, and it comes as laces.
I like the laces idea.
We had laces in before, didn't we? I can't remember who done them before. Someone else did them in a little tin. But to be honest, I weren't even bothered about the laces as such. More the fact that they've got what looked like decent cotton. So I have on me, I have a few mods on me. I've got a purple Emperor with a V2S and some 5-core. I don't know if you can see them. 5-core fused. I have not fired these for days. But these are 4mm coils in there, so I'm going to use that. They claim that this will do 2.5 to 4mm coils. This is a sample of one of the new flavours. If you can see that. I know you can't because the label's the wrong way around. So in a bit I'll do a live week because I know you've got a part of the show about, or is that this part of the show? Is that what we're on?
No, you could if you want to do that, that's absolutely fine because I think
I can't be asked to re-wiki at this minute in time to be completely.
I had the section of the show is about. Well, you said get to fluff, and I just laughed at it, so I named that.
I mean, get to fluff was a name that we come up with a long time ago, and I said if ever I do a cotton, I'm going to call it Get to Fluff. And then I thought,
I remember you saying that at a vape meet actually.
So Get to Fluff was something that was what we was always going to brand the cotton. Then to be completely honest with you, when I seen them laces, I was like, oh, we could do fucking fluffy as fuck or easy as fuck and do something in conjunction with the juice line. But to be fair, I just think it works better with the whole build them endless and that sort of thing. The juices are separate. So, and really last night, I mean, obviously, I seen Lee Hodges post yesterday saying, "Oh, we've got this cotton to white label." I don't know if it's the same cotton. Lee told me last night that he's his source from the UK. So I haven't got a clue. So I'll just message Lee out of courtesy, really, to say, mate, the cotton that you've got that you're white labelling, we're also white labelling the cotton that looks nigh on identical. And I think I'm still going to go with it, regardless of whether Lee's doing his thing with Apex, which is cool, and I fully support what he's doing. He's doing a UK thing there, and it's good. And we're doing what we do. I'm just negotiating the price with China at the moment. Obviously, in line with everything else that we do, we'll try and be as competitive as we can be. With the cotton, things like the cotton and the wire and stuff like that, obviously I need to try and make sure we've got some sort of margin in there for wholesale so other people can take it off us, because these are the sort of things where, even though cotton's not grossly expensive, to get a decent price, we'll have to put a big amount of money into it to get it the right amount of money to be able to, one, wholesale it, and two, still retail it cheaper than anything else that's out there for the comparable. So I think last night's post really was more about, would people want a split packet? I mean, that is how they're currently branding it. So it's got 3 pads of cotton, which would probably build, I would imagine you've got half in that and half as that. There's 12 laces there, which will give you 12 builds, because you can actually cut these laces in half, thread them either side of your RDA. So you've got 12 builds there, and I'd imagine you've got another 12 builds there as well. The only benefit of that being that if you've got a 5mm coil or you've got 2mm coils, obviously you can use this one and pull it off to whatever your design is. So that's how it currently comes packaged, although we can package it any way we like. I've even spoke to them about whether we chop the laces in half, so you haven't even got to fuck about cutting them in half. You can just thread one side, thread the other, pull the end off and crack on. So, and they're really things that I just need to negotiate with China. And I put the post out last night to get some feedback about whether you guys would want just cotton in a bag, whether you'd want laces separate. Obviously, for us, to do both of them in one packaging works out more cost effective, because we haven't got to buy 2 different lots of packaged product. I don't even know what the minimum order quantities are on this yet. The samples came in last week, I think, and I've used, and its quality works really, really well. The only reason why I haven't rushed ahead and done it straight away is because I still want these 12 samples from the States, so we can make sure whatever cotton we do, it's the best cotton that I can get.
I think the quick stuff, the laces stuff, for me personally, is perfect for, like, if you're in a car rebuilding, or if you're out and about and you just need to quickly re-weight. I think that's perfect. And for me, the other one is you can do whenever you want, and obviously do it to the size of your cotton. So me personally, I'd love them both in the same pack.
Yeah, I mean, I say if they come cut in half, they're even more convenient, because if you're using a single coil RDA, you just take one out, you've got 24 rebuilds just in the laces. If you're using dual coil, you've got 12 rebuilds. But they work really well. For anyone that hasn't, I mean, that's the lace. So it is very.
What's it that's on the ends, Paul, to actually make it a lace?
Same as what's on laces.
It's literally just like the end of a lace, like a bit of plastic.
I mean, and then what you do, that I don't know on these ones, because I cut mine off because it was long enough. On the ones that we had in the shop before, you used to pull that through, then you pull that end off, and it was just fluffy on the end. With my ones, I actually fed it through, and I just cut them off, because actually my cotton was long enough without them. But I've spoken to them about whether we can even get them little ends branded, just stupid things actually, so it just sets it apart from anything else that's out there. And then really whether it comes in a tin, whether it comes in a bag, whether it comes in a box, I don't know. That's just really where I am at the moment, is deciding where. But ultimately, I just need to wait and see what these samples are saying from America.
I think a lot of people's opinions will be, as long as it wicks well, it holds juice, and it doesn't have a taste of cotton. I don't think people will be fussed at sort of.
I mean, from my own personal point of view, I'm looking to compete with the likes of bacon cotton, which is, I'm not looking to compete with fuzz, because it's £6 a tin or whatever it is. And granted, you get way more cotton than you do with bacon cotton. But for me, even though I think fuzz is one of the best cottons on the market as it stands at this minute in time. It's not a cotton that I use because bacon cotton is so convenient to use.
Mm.
For me personally, it just works. It's like the same. I pull one strip off. Once I know I've got the right thickness, I feed it through my coil, cut it in half, feed the other side through my other coil, and off I go.
Yeah.
This is with the laces, and I'm even thinking we might only just do the laces, and if I can bring the laces in cheap enough to be able to give someone a decent bag of lace ends for the right money, then I'll just do that anyway. Because actually, if it's reasonably priced,
yeah,
it's more convenient whether you're on the move or whether you're not.
Yeah, I think it's. I was going back to sort of, the side of sort of that cotton itself is obviously very niche to builders, and obviously the first thing they're going to say is, when I put it in, does it taste of cotton? That is literally the first thing. Do you know what I mean? That's all they're going to say. That's the bugbear of even me and yourself. The first one goes, fucking hell, it tastes like cotton straight away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you know what, Tom? For me personally, I've been vaping for coming into my 6th year. For this time round vaping, 7.5 years since I very first started vaping. I've been using Mex regularly for the last 4 years, 4.5 years. And whether I used cotton wool balls from fucking Boots, I used Raylon, which actually I really, Raylon was my preferred choice. I just fucking hate it. I can't pull it apart, man. It makes me go all funky. And yeah, we've got swag in the shop. I haven't even got it here actually because I took it to work. I took my belt kit to work when I was fucking about with the Emperors. And the swag, I don't know whether that's some sort of rayon based cotton. I don't know. It feels like it to me.
Like synthetic?
Mate, it fucking makes my teeth, makes my jaw go funny thinking about it. Like it proper knocks me sick because I hate cotton wool. But the swag is fire, but it's fluffy. It feels synthetic, but they're claiming it's 100% cotton. I haven't got a clue who's behind swag. I ain't got a fucking clue. They're claiming zero breaking. They're claiming that it can be washed. I mean, who the fuck's going to hang up some cotton and wash it and dry it out and reuse it? I don't even get that person.
That.
My only issue with bacon cotton is it will break across the coils. Now, I don't know whether that's the way that I just wick. I don't know whether that's because I've got too much cotton in there. I don't know whether I've not got enough cotton in there. I don't know whether it's just a trait of bacon cotton, but that says it happens with fuzz as well. It happens when we shake and bake. It happens. I've never found a cotton that don't break across the middle, apart from Raylon. Never used to break across the middle ever. So I don't know. I mean, say with the cotton, for me, it's not even about trying to conquer the world and have the biggest selling cotton in the world. It's just about having something else that fits hand in glove with what we do.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't wholesale massively, it's still a product that we've got in our shops that I know is a good product for the right money. So I'm not fussed about conquering the cotton market. I'm not trying to go head to head with Lee Hodges. It was just coincidence that he posted up yesterday and we'd got these samples in. I haven't posted the samples prior, and I never only posted them yesterday because Lee did, actually. I didn't post them before because I wanted to get these 12 samples in from America tomorrow and send you some, give the lads in the shop some, even some people that I trust out there in the big wide world to say, right, there's 12 different samples there. Give me some feedback. Which one's better for an RTA? Which one's better for a low build? Which one's better for single core? Which one's better for series? And there will be different cottons that perform different tasks.
Definitely.
So then it's deciding, do we run with 1 cotton, 2 cotton, 3 cottons, 4 cottons? I don't know. I haven't made up my mind. I don't know what I'm doing. But whatever I do, I'll do it properly like we've tried to with everything else that we've done. So.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get an all-rounder, wouldn't it? Definitely we'll get a nice get an all-rounder.
You know what? There is all shake and bake, fusion, fuzz, bacon cotton. They're good all-round cottons, all of them. I'm pretty sure swag will be good all-round cotton. I've used swag. Swag is actually in these, I think, because I built these at work. And it just beds in instantly.
You see, I've got Neil's in chat here saying my taste buds must be shit. I've never tasted cotton, had fuzz, bacon, cotton candy, and some cheap stuff. I never tasted cotton.
To be honest, that's what I was going to say, Tom. Sorry, before I stopped. I'm 6 years in, and I've never once gone, oh my God, that's cotton. Fucking tasty, disgusting.
I have though. That's the problem.
I know that cotton gets better after a bedding in period. But to be perfectly honest, I've never used a cotton that doesn't need bedding in. That includes.
That's it. I've always put a cotton in.
That includes Shake and Vape was my all-time favourite cotton. It's something that I always use. We used to stock it. We still do stock it. We're just out of stock at the moment. But Shake and Vape, I mean, we might have some. I'm not even sure whether we have or we haven't. But Shake and Vape was my all-time favourite cotton. And probably because it was probably one of the first cottons that I purchased that was purely for vaping.
Yeah.
But that said, it worked really well. A fucking ball of that shit lasted you for 12 months. I used to pinch it and pull a whole ring off. And my only criticism of Shake and Vape for me personally now is that you can't pull your piece off the same way you used to be able to.
It's not very manipulated, is it?
Shake and Vape is still up there with my favourite cotton without a doubt. And I use bacon cotton, and I've used bacon cotton for a long, long time because it's convenient, it's easy, it's packed well, it fits in my coiling kit nicely. It's just convenient, and on that basis, that's why I use it.
That's it. Like in the flat pack, you get it straight in there. And so, yeah, definitely. But as I say, going back to what I said, I've always had that sort of. I'm the sort of person to re-wick and put half a bottle of juice on, purging and making sure I ain't got no cotton taste before I use it.
No, but maybe that's why I don't get a cotton taste, because I don't just fucking fire my cotton and juice it up and fire it.
Yeah.
You burn it, and then I'll dry burn it, and I'll blow it, and I'll put some more on, and I'll take a few, not even inhaling, but more.
Yeah.
Some more cotton on there. Excuse me. And so maybe that's why I don't get the cotton taste. I don't know. I've never been someone just to fire my fresh cotton in and then crack on ever.
Yeah.
Whether that be an RTA, whether it be a series single, whatever I'm doing, I always juice up. And once I've got a bit of juice on, I'll give it a tiny little fire and get some heat in there. Then I'll put a bit more juice on. And once I'm happy that the juice is all the way through, I'll burn it and I'll blow it and I'll put some more juice on. So maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe that's what.
Maybe we've been used to
some people going, oh, God, all I can taste is cotton. I'm like, shut up, you dickhead.
Maybe just we've been used to the fact we've manipulated the cotton before we've even vaped it. I think that may be one of the things, because I remember using cotton from Boots and being like, fucking, this is disgusting, and then just doing that to try and get the flavour away.
See, I just used to use cotton from Boots and I didn't know any fucking difference, so.
Neil's
talking about cotton. I seen a post the other day, and someone said there was some stupid comment about, oh yeah, I've seen someone say that you can just use cotton from Boots. Lol. And I was like, you can?
Yeah, as long as it's not bleached.
No, because when I first started using a mech, the chap that I bought it off, fucking name. What's his name? He's called Vape Daddy. Is it Vape Daddy? Vape Daddy at the fort in Birmingham. And his name completely fucking slips my mind. But I went into his shop. I think I've said this story before. I went in there. I had an iClear 30B on the Inakin SVB or SVD or sexually transmitted disease or whatever it's called.
It's an SVD.
And I remember going on in there with that thinking I was bad, and he come out with the fucking castle mech and blew a cloud, and I was like, you dickhead. How the fucking hell have you done that, son? And then I've literally bought my mech there and then, and I was like, I need to fucking do that shit. Didn't understand lung inhaling, didn't know the difference between the two. And he was like, you just get some cotton from Boots. And I was like, normal cotton? And he was like, yeah. When you think about it, it's pure cotton. It doesn't...
As long as it's not bleached, obviously, because usual cotton is used as baby pads in it, so you wipe your baby down with it. So you're not going to wipe it down, it's got bleach on it. So a lot of people go, fuck, you can't use cotton buds, you can't use the cotton from Boots. Of course you can, it's not bleached.
People said before about using Tampax cotton.
I've done that, I'm not even going to lie to you.
You know what, mate? If you had fucking 12mm coils, it'd be fucking bam. They're just fucking the fucking version of that cunt.
I didn't do it as a joke. I'm going to let you know that. I didn't do it because I needed to really make it. I did it as a joke, but yeah, I've done it. About 3.5 years ago. But to me, again, Paul, people saying you can't use this and you can't use that. To me, again, it goes back to juice and mods. Cotton is just as much a personal choice than it is anything else. You know what I mean? People don't like taste off bacon. They don't like taste off fuzz. They prefer fuzz to bacon. Do you know what I mean? Cotton is very much cotton, but is it that placebo effect? Do
Oh,
you know
you know what? I think I've got no alliance to any cotton on the basis that as long as I was using Fusion, Shake and Vape, Fuzz, Bacon Cotton, Swag, anything like that, I'd never say, "Oh no, sorry, I can't use your Bacon Cotton, mate. I don't get on with it." Fuzz for me is a really, really good cotton. It's a pain in the ass to use.
Yeah,
That's
because you can't pull the strips off and stuff. Yeah,
that's just my personal opinion of it. But it's a really good cotton. And actually, if I've got my belt kit out, I'll use Fuzz because I've got my scissors. I can fuck about. If I'm trying to do a quick re-week, fucking Bacon Cotton for me every single time. The saying Shake and Vape used to be brilliant because it was good cotton, and I used to be able to pinch what I knew was going to be my right amount of cotton needed, pull a whole donut ring off, and crack on and use it. And it just doesn't seem to come off that ring the same way anymore. I don't know whether that's me or the way it's cut or packaged or what, I don't know. But Shake and Vape's still fantastic. He's a fantastic cotton, it really is. I've got no alliance to any cotton, mate, and I'm certainly not going to launch a cotton and then claim that we've got the best cotton in the world. We'll have a cotton that's going to be more affordable than hopefully any other cotton. That's what that's what I'm trying to do. Or more convenient. Say it might be that the laces work out on par with a bag of Bacon Cotton, and you don't get as much, but they're more convenient. I don't know, mate. I'm just literally, I'll work through it and we'll come up with what I think is the best option. Simple.
that's it. You've just got to have that. You just got to have options out there, and see what people are thinking. And if people in chat want to give some sort of feedback, that'd be obviously generally appreciated. And I just personally think that there's a market there that can fulfill for everybody. You know what I mean? Not everybody's happy with certain things. Not everybody's comfortable with whatever. But I think at the end of the day, if it's something that works and works well, I don't see it being an issue personally.
No, that's my point. The same when I spoke to Lee last night, I was just like, I just wanted to let you know out of courtesy, really, that when we drop the cotton, I ain't just like hanging out your ass trying to copy you or do it cheaper or what. I don't even know what I'm going to be paying for it yet, Tom. So I certainly don't know what we're selling it for.
It's like I've said before, and you've said this plenty of times. It's like we're trying to aim for a one-stop shop, so that everybody can access what they need from us.
Yeah, it obviously works twofold for me personally as well, because we've got 2 retail outlets. So if we can buy something at a cheaper price, then we can retail it at a cheaper price, which means our customers get something better for the money, or something on par with something else. But cheaper. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to next week claim we've got the best cotton on the market, because for me personally, cotton's cotton. But I'll do whatever I can to make sure that we're competitive, more competitive than other brands that are out there offering something similar. That's basically what I'm trying to do.
Definitely.
That works twofold because of the store. If I didn't have the store, to be honest, I wouldn't be so keen to get a cotton out there. I wouldn't have been so keen to launch a juice. I wouldn't. Even the wire for me works perfectly with our retail stores, and anyone that's took it wholesale is a bonus. But actually, for me, it's about having the product for me to be able to retail it.
Yeah, definitely. And I like the idea of having that one-stop shop, because it's then makes somebody, rather than going here, there, everywhere, to go try get something. Because that's what we know what people are like. They go and see what's cheaper elsewhere. You know what I mean? They'll shop here, they'll shop there, shop everywhere. If you can get a shop that literally has everything, and it's all their manufacturing, it's all their doings, then you've got it all there. So start working on some battery technology, Paul.
It's a lot of money. I mean, I spoke to battery companies 2 years ago, before ever you were on the scene, to say, can you do me a 6.3 volt? Can we go up 50% on the voltage? Firstly, there's not a charger that will charge it. You've got to invest in the chargers. So I mean, it's a massive project. I mean, it can be done, but I need to have James Burr's money. But I mean, it's an expensive thing. But I mean, literally, before the 2700 dropped, I was just thinking, you know what? Surely to God, these fucking people can just make us a fucking 6-volt battery. And on that basis, then we don't need to fucking go stupid with the coils. Just not as easy as doing that, unfortunately.
We're not Tesla, are we? They seem to be taking all the 18650s and 2700s at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's a few different ones out now, and I mean, the iJoy is the iJoy 5-leg, which is copies wrapped by about a dozen companies. Is a Panasonic battery. It's the old version of the 2700i. The 2700i is becoming a bit more mainstream now, and I know VAPE have got them coming through. And
what's the new one that thing he's just been testing? Mooch.
That was
27. Is it a 2650 C or something like that, or a 2700 C?
I don't know, mate. I know there's. I mean, the 2700A was the better of the two because they used to do a 2700A and a 2700B. Whether the 2700C is something with a better amp rating or what, I haven't got a clue, mate. I don't know. Mr. Reese Vaughan, good evening, sir. We need both stack sections. Stack sections for the Emperors. I haven't even finalised the design on them. I've had the prototypes, I haven't even built one yet because I had them in work. I was busy at work last week. I had a shit week. This week I'm off work and I've been decorating the girls' bedroom. So I still haven't even built an Emperor stacked, but it's in my bedroom to do.
2650 C is what he's been testing recently.
Well, I've got is it the LGH? Well, I know the 2650s. They're on our website. I'll have a look.
Is it the 20? It's not the. Is it 22.650s or the 2650s?
I've got 2650s. I know that much. We've had for a while, but they are fucking banging.
Is that what the newest thing on the market at the minute is? Then the 2650.
I don't know, mate. I just seen them and I bought some because I thought actually they're working the Empress because you just use the 18650 adapter, but it's got the 20 mil diameter of a 2700.
Yeah,
but they are fucking banging. best battery for a Met Mod out on the market, in my opinion, at the minute. I've not seen the test results. They are fucking fire.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he was testing the other day. 2650. Because I'm sure we had some at the show as well, didn't we?
On our website, but
we had some at the show. We had some at Expo.
Yeah, I'm just searching our website and they're not on there, but that must be an oversight because I'm 99% sure.
Yeah, he was definitely rated.
LG HG6 is what we've got. And they are 3000 mAh, 30 amp continuous discharge.
Yeah, 30s. Yeah. I was gonna say he was saying a lot of good things about them.
I know that Max at Death Wish swears by them.
So they're actually under test. They're actually 3,100.
Yeah.
So they're actually better than they're rated. Usually they overrate, don't they? Well, this is underrated. So if anybody wants a battery that's banging and it looks like the 2650 is the one.
No, I can't. No.
And who did you say they're made by? LG.
Yeah. So HG6, I think it is.
That's it. LG H6, yeah. And they are a 30. They're a 30 amp. They are 30 amps. I'm just reading his testings now. I've just got them up. Right, so I've got some more things to talk about tonight. I'm glad we could talk about that. I actually really enjoyed that conversation because it took me back memories and stuff of using other cottons and stuff like that. So I quite enjoyed that topic. I did discuss this last week with the lads, and they just laughed at me and didn't take me serious in this topic. But I know you will. I hope. I saw an article, and we've probably said this a million times, but I obviously want to get your are e-cigarettes a gateway to traditional tobacco for kids? I want you to answer that honestly.
We've had this conversation before, Tom. I think if you're the sort of kid that's going to smoke, you're the sort of kid that's going to vape, you're the sort of kid that's going to fuck about, smoke a weed, do your shit and do your thing. And for me personally, I've got 6 kids. I'd rather any one of them vape than I would smoke, although I'd never promote vaping to any of them. The bottom line is I started smoking when I was about 11 or 12, and I was seriously smoking by the time I was 14, and by the time I was left school I was smoking 20 fags a day, and by the time I was 20 I was smoking 40 fags a day, and before I started vaping I was smoking 60 fags a day, and I've always been a heavy smoker. I think my honest opinion is that more kids would try vaping over smoking because it's, for me, it's cooler.
Yeah, definitely more appealing.
The fact that you could blow a cloud, the fact that you can vape something that tastes like fucking custard donut, all them things, for me, make it more appealing to someone who would never, ever smoke. I don't personally think that vaping is a gateway to tobacco, because actually if you started off vaping and then you had a drag on a fag, you'd never, ever choose a cigarette over vaping.
Definitely, and it goes back to the subject we discussed last week as well.
That's my personal opinion. I just think if a kid's going to smoke, he's going to smoke. I'd be surprised if we've got lots of customers, mate, that never ever smoked a cigarette.
Yeah,
vape, and they only vape 0 milligram, and they've never started smoking cigarettes. So to answer your question, I don't think it is a gateway to tobacco.
Because what we spoke about last week as well is there was a report from the Independent newspaper, and it actually said that the life choice now, rather than cigarettes, is vaping. That's more of a life choice than smoking. But to me personally, there's millions and millions of more smokers out there that are still smoking and not converting to vaping. But to me, does that mean that people of today would rather try vaping than they would smoking? So if that's the case, why are people not coming off fags and going to vaping? Because it was saying that it's a life choice.
You know what? Because people that smoke, and for every vapor that purely vapes, I would say there's another one that still smokes and vapes. And as a heavy smoker who's probably, I know that if I didn't take and I've said it millions of times, if I didn't take my mate to long out with me, I'd smoke a cigarette. I'd go and buy a packet of fags. I've had an occasional cigarette from time to time. When I first started vaping 7.5 years ago, I'd done 11 months straight without touching a cigarette, and then I started smoking the occasional fag because my vape fucked up, and then I thought I was in control, and within 6 weeks I was back on the fags, and it took me another 12 months to quit. And it is way more, it's easier to pick up a cigarette than smoke than it is to vape. On the basis that if I sat on the set all day with 60 fags and a lighter, and every time I want one, I take it out of the box and I light it and I smoke it and I put it out and I pick one out and I smoke it, that's all well and good. If I'm vaping exactly the same way and halfway through the day my core goes and my cores are up in my car and I can't be asked to go to the car, and then the core that I put in there is fucked, and then I need some liquid and where the fuck's my bottle of liquid? For me, it was a lifestyle change to start vaping because I had to be prepared to be a vapor. So I had to buy extra batteries. I had to buy extra coils. I carried a shitload of gear around with me everywhere that I went. What is that banging? No, the banging upstairs or whatever it is. We'll go and if it's Sinead, tell her to be quiet because all I can hear upstairs is banging. Yeah, I just think that like when I'm selling someone a starter kit, it is the whole be prepared thing. Because it's like if you don't plan to be a vapor and you don't plan your shit and plan where you're going to be and what if your battery does break? The first thing you're going to do is buy a packet of fags.
Yeah.
And then if you've done, it's a bit like the same analogy applies for me personally when I used to do Slimming World or Weight Watchers. Whenever I've done something like that, I always put 100% into it, and I always lost weight, and I lost weight every week. The best I ever done was after Tasha had Ava, and she decided to go because she had about 8 or 9 pounds to lose or something. She had a good shit's worth of weight to lose, basically. But I ended up going with that, and I just started vaping. That was the first time. So from July right the way through to January, I lost weight every single week. And the first week I lost 12 or 13 pounds. The second week I lost 8 or 9 pounds. The third week I lost 5 or 6 pounds. Then I lose 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. Every single week it was falling off me. And then because I have a pizza one night, and then the same week I have a kebab and chips, and I still lose 3 pounds. What was the banging? Yeah, because I could sort of cheat, if that's the right word, and still lose 3 pounds. You're a bit like, well, I'm not gonna persecute myself. So
yeah.
And then you're a bit like, well, if I have a bad week and I stayed the same, once I concentrate, I can lose 5 pounds again. And 6 weeks down the line, I'm fucking 2 stone heavier, and fuck it. But I'm exactly the same with vaping. I knew that if I didn't have a spare battery, if I didn't have my spare coils, if I didn't have spare liquid, I'd be fucked. And if I would fuck, the first thing I'd do is go and buy a packet of fags. And that's why for me, and I think we spoke about this on the show the week before last, about pod systems, is pod systems should absolutely storm the market for smoker conversion, in my opinion, because they're easy, they're convenient. The same way that you take a lighter out and light your fag, you can take a pod out and shove it on and you're done. You ain't got to fill your tank. You ain't got to do fuck all. You ain't got to purge your coil. You literally vape the thing and fuck off your cartridge and stick one in there. And that's what I love about a pod system. I like them because also they seem to be, in the main, very good mouth-to-lung systems. The Me Pod, we've discussed, it's not me personally. You know what, mate? The more that I've used it, the more it's a good device. It's just not a mouth-to-lung device, in my opinion. To not put airflow control on a £40 device is it. They should do it, even, or at least bring out a fucking pod that is just for air, because the airflow's in the pod, it's not in the device. So bring out a pod that is just mouth-to-lung, and bring out a pod that's sub-ohm, because that way then you could put 2 different coils in them and tailor it to a mouth-to-lung market, or a sub-ohm market, or a restricted lung kit market, or whatever they're trying to aim that market at. I don't even know. The battery's shit for mouth-to-lung, let alone fucking lung inhaling. You know what I mean? So on that basis, if I'd have designed the Me Pod 100%, it'd have been purely for mouth to lung.
Yeah.
And I'd have still put airflow control on it, because my airflow for me, mouth to lung, is different to yours, different to Yvette's, different to Tasha's. So I still don't get the whole not bothering their ass to put airflow control on a device that's designed for mouth to lung. But yeah, for me, pod systems will replace. They should convert the smoker easier, and yet we've never had huge success selling them in the shop.
I think it comes down to majority of the time when people are stopping smoking, it's the advice they're given, not necessarily advice from the shop, but the people.
We had the Bow. The Bow for me is one of the best mouth to lung pod systems ever to come onto the market, for me personally, because the airflow on it was perfect. The pod change on it was nice. The airflow was nice. The flavour was good. The pods were expensive, which is the only downside, but still. And I think that's the thing. Like all of our staff, me included, Tasha included, gone through the learning curve of what used to be and what is now.
Yeah.
So when you look at the price that we used to pay for vaping, I mean, look, I've said this before. We used to charge best part of 50 quid for a double Ego 1100 Ego kit, but I was still £30 cheaper than Totally Wicked, and they only give you a single kit. So actually, we were way cheaper than what it would have been to buy 2 kits from Totally Wicked. to get to the point then where we had ego kits in our shop that used to retail for $12.99 for a battery clearomiser and a fucking charger. When our staff have gone through that change of price and the cost of vaping, which has come down considerably and continues to fall month on month generally, it's cheaper and cheaper and cheaper to vape. Our staff struggle to sell a bow kit to someone for 35 quid. I know mentally they're going, fucking, that's a lot of money that is for that kit. And then the pods are fucking 8 quid for 3 pods and they're only getting 4.5 mil of liquid. So actually, psychologically, you already convince yourself that it's better to try and sell them an AO for 30 quid and a bottle of liquid for $3.99 and the coils are £2.50 a coil. And so we were not selling the product in the way it was designed. Now, for you to walk into our shop as a vapor and say, what's that bow kit like? My sales pitch is wicked. If you're going out, it's a nice little stealthy device. It fits in your pocket. It's self-activating. You've got no worry about da-da-da-da. If you're having it as a second device, you use it as a second device. If you're walking into my shop as someone who smokes 40 fags a day, you don't give a fuck that it's 35 quid. You don't give a fuck that the pods are 8 quid. Because straight away in your head, you're going to convert cigarette money to vaping money. But what our staff were doing was they were converting an experienced vapor's spend to a newcomer and going, oh, that's bloody expensive, that is. And I used to say to our staff, it's up to us to sell them product. And I believe that if you can sell the bow kit to someone who's smoking cigarettes and give them a nice, convenient, easy, well-made, well-performing device, and then within 6 weeks when they know that they can vape and not have the need to have a cigarette, then upsell them then to an AO and a change and a tank and a bottle of liquid and this, that and the other, because they've already cracked the hardest part, which is replacing the cigarettes for something else. Once you've cracked that, then replace you something else for something different.
Yeah, definitely. So we're coming down to the fact that you replace it.
If battery technology moves on the way that it should move on, then pod systems should still dominate this market, because I would use a pod system every day of the week if I could find one that vape like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not arsed it only holds 2 mil of liquid, because I'll just buy the pods because it's still cheaper than cigarettes. But if it vapes well for me and it's not messy and it's convenient and it's easy, I'll do it.
Comes back to ease, doesn't it? You know, you say it's picking up a fag, lighting it, it's easy. You know, you are right. And I've never really thought of what you said about when you start vaping, you have to be prepared. You know what I mean? You've got to be in some sort of mindset that you're going to need this as a backup. With fags, the only thing you need as a backup is another set of fags and a lighter. That's what you need as a backup. So you don't need batteries and stuff like that. And I think
mate, you're driving down the road and you fucking packet of fags. I had it before where I took I told you before, I was on my mobile phone driving back in the day before it was illegal, before everyone starts lynching me. And I had my phone under my ear driving, Nokia, and I had my Nokia under my ear driving in my fucking Range Rover like fucking Daddy Mac. And I don't even know why I had 10 fags, because I never ever used to buy poverty packs, but I've got a 10 box for some reason. And there was one fag left in the box. And I've got my phone under my ear and I'm driving and I take the fag out of the box and I light it and I put the fucking fag box down and I took my phone from behind me and fucked it out the window instead of me fucking fag box. I don't even know what I was thinking. And I was like, what the fuck, man? And I done a U-turn and went back and there was 3 damaged paving slabs where my Nokia had hit it at fucking 40 miles an hour. But my phone was still mint, mate. That's how you know Nokia made good quality phones. You could throw them out your car window and go back around and pick them up. But I mean, if you pack it, I've had it where I've gone round an island and my fucking fag slid across my dash, straight out my passenger window. You're like, fuck. But you drive 2 minutes down the road, pull into any shop, another packet of fags, job's a good one.
Yeah.
When I'm out, I've got even when I stop at a vape shop, there's not many, I wouldn't say there's not many shops. There's not shops round by me locally that stock AO coils.
Yeah, you're right there, like the Martelung stuff. Yeah, you're right. So it's not easy to just pull up at a shop.
Yeah, I mean, obviously back in the day with an ego, with the CE4, I could get to any vape shop and they'd have a CE4 because every fucking vape shop only had CE4s. I could just buy one, screw it onto my battery, crack on, and then I'd sort out my fucking Kangatech mini pro tank when I got home. Do you know what I mean? I was never really, and the more advanced it's got, the harder it is, in some senses, is to go to any vape shop and be catered for.
Yeah.
Because I don't stock all the same products as Evolution, who don't stock the same products as me, who don't stock the same products as Grey Haze, who don't stock the same products as Evolution, who don't stock the same products as Green Dog Vaping, etc., etc., etc. Now, there's a core amount of business in the middle where you can probably go into 90% of vape shops in the UK and buy a smart coil.
100%. That is 100%.
You can buy an 18650 battery. But not all of them will have a 2650. Not all of them would have a 2700. Not all of them would have a 21700. Not all of them would have an 18350 or an 18500 or a 16340 or a 26650. But Shady Vaping have got all of them batteries I just mentioned. But I mean, the more complex vaping's become and the more bigger the range of products has become, the harder it is for every vape shop in the country to stock all of them products because it's just not practical. It just can't happen. Now, we used to pride ourselves on pretty much stocking 95% of what was on the market. Anything that had come out, we bought it, we had it in the shop. Obviously, it got to a point where the market grew that fucking fast. You just can't.
It's impossible.
Because most people want a smock. Most people want just a £60 kit, a £55 kit, whatever the kits are. Most people want a sub-ohm tank. So I carry a packet of AO calls in my car. I've got a packet of AO calls in my office at work. I've got a packet of AO calls in my house. I've got another AO in my car. I've got an AO in my hand, and I've got a brand new AO down there. And that's just what I do. It's how I am. So when I'm telling my customers, buy the kit, if you smoke 20 fags a day, you're spending now approximately a tenner a day.
Yeah.
Give or take, 70 quid a week. If you buy an AO Pro for 35 quid, a packet of coils for a tenner, 45 quid, 3 bottles of 10ml liquid for a tenner, 55 quid. Buy it today, use it till this time next week, and you've saved yourself 15 quid.
Yeah.
Week 2, you will save yourself everything because you ain't going to use 30 mil in that in 2 weeks.
Mm.
I probably use 30 mil in 2 weeks if I'm fucking chonging it non-stop 7 days a week. 10 mil will last me about a week, even me being a high user. Week 2, you're going to save yourself 70 quid. Week 3, you're going to save yourself 70 quid. Week 4, you're going to have to come and buy some more liquids, but you've still got coils because you bought 5 packs of coils. So after 6 weeks, you will have saved yourself in the region of 300 quid. That's including buying the device, running the device, changing the coils, changing your liquids. Then buy a second kit, even a cheaper one, so you can keep it in your car. Or buy the same one and keep it in your car and split your packet of coils that you've got between the house and the car. And then if you're out and you don't pick it up, open your glove box, crack on. When you pull up at home, leave it in the glove box, go back in the house, pick up the one you had. At week 10, buy a third one if you want to and stick one in your office. You're still saving somewhere in the region of £300 a month.
Yeah.
Minimum £300 a month at 20 a day. Now, when you got to the point, I was spending 20... What was I buying? I was buying 80 fags a day back then. So I was smoking 60-ish a day. Tash was smoking 20-ish a day. It's costing me about 7 quid a pack, 28 quid a day. Times fucking worked out that with my vaping, buying the device back then, which was Ego pens, I worked out changing that pen every 10 weeks. So literally throwing the battery in the bin and buying another one. I worked out changing the clearomizer every single week on a Friday, which is what I used to do. And I worked out using 20 mil of liquid a week at a worst case scenario. I was still saving personally back then, 5 years ago, $6 a year.
Fucking a lot of money, innit?
The rent on our first shop was $6 a year.
Fucking hell.
And literally, when we opened that shop and Tasha was saying to me, what if it doesn't work? How are we going to afford to pay the rent? I said, I'm saving the rent money every month on what I'm not smoking. We've got nothing to lose by trying. So when I see all these people that go, oh my God, start vaping, they said, it'll save money, they said. It will save you money as long as you're not fucking being a dickhead.
Yeah, if you don't get shiny,
you've gone completely into again, there'll be people in here that say I've sub-owned right from the start and I've never touched a fag since. That percentage of people, in my opinion, is small.
Massively.
So if you're sub-own vaping, even now though, if you're sub-own vaping on a smock style device, you might use 1 or 2 calls a week, which is going to cost you anything between, for 2 calls on a smock, it's going to cost somewhere between 6 and a tenner, depending on where you're buying the calls from and what. I mean, TFE 12 calls are about a £5 each, £5.50 each, £6 each in some cases, depending on what call you have. So if you're using 2 calls a week, £12. If you're sub-ohming daily, I would imagine you'll use somewhere in the region of between 10 and 20 mil of liquid a day.
Probably more.
No, but I mean, I'm talking like sort of 35, 45 watt sub-ohm vaping as opposed to dripping.
Yeah.
You might use 200 ml of liquid a week. You can buy 200 ml of liquid now in most vape shops for around about 30 to 40 quid, depending on what liquid you're using. So 40 quid a week for your liquid, a tenner a week for your coils, 50 quid. If you were smoking 40 fags a day now, it's 20 quid a day, it's 140 quid a week. Still saving 90 quid a week, which would still buy you a smock alien every week and you'd still be 30 quid a week better off. There's still a saving to be had, even in the worst case scenario of replacing cigarettes for sub-ohm vaping. When you start spending 600 quid on a scoundrel, fucking cotton, wire. I've dripped 100 ml of liquid in an evening when I was on a fucking stacked easily. So then back then, and 40 quid then for 100 ml of liquid, it weren't like now. Do you know what I mean? So I went through that stage, mate, where I was never ever spending anything like the amount of money I spent on vaping. However, I didn't ever view it as a replacement for my cigarettes. I reviewed it as a hobby.
Yeah.
Born from my giving up smoking with vaping, because I still always use this fucking thing. So I always use that when I was spending thousands of pounds a month on fucking shit.
I just want to mention, because obviously Pixie and True Vapor in the chat are saying, obviously, when it comes to hobby, it's expensive. To me personally, I always say, well, if I want a nice device, and people will spend, and not as much as they did back in the day, and I'm going to get into that in another subject, but sort of when we used to do that, we weren't really going out partying, we weren't getting pissed, we weren't smoking, you know what I mean? We did, our vaping style was our hobby, and we put our money, our spare money, into expensive gear and spending money on that, and that was our enjoyment in doing it. So don't ever want people to think, don't ever feel bad for spending your dough. It's your dough at the end of the day. Spend what you want and enjoy it. The experience of being able to go out and spend money on devices you want to purchase is all good by all means. Don't think anybody's ever going to tell you for spending money on expensive devices, because trust me, I've done it. Paul's done it a lot more than I have, but fucking we've all done it. And the experience of having that hobby is great. Is genuinely great. And obviously we now use vaping for the style we use our vaping. Yeah. I don't know about you, Paul, but I've not gone out and spent out mad money on vaping for a long time, but that's because I'm happy in what I'm vaping. It's not because I don't feel I need to go out and buy new shit. It's the fact is that I'm enjoying what I'm currently using.
You know what? I think I don't think there'll ever be a generation of vapor that spent money how we spent money 2 and 3 years ago, for 2 reasons. Well, actually, for one reason, because we were new to everything that come out.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I have seen in this last 6 months is we have more people coming in the shop that have started using mech, buying a second mech, buying a third mech, buying wire, buying cotton, using more liquid, and there's like a new wave of newcomers coming into it. They still do not buy devices like I used to buy them. And not only me, thousands of our customers, mate. We had people come in our shop 5 times a week, and 5 times a week they'd leave with a brand new mech, even if it was only a £30 clone.
Yeah.
Every time they come in that shop, they left with a new device, some wire, some cotton, and 200 or 300 ml of liquid. Now, my nephew, Zach, who was at the expo with us, Zach, he's been vaping about 6 months. He's now on stacked endlesses. He's building his own coils. He's wicking up. He's smashing the back out of his liquid. He's got his brother-in-law involved who loves vaping, who's now coming in the shop and buying liquid and mods and wire. And it's mad to see that new wave of people coming in. And as much as they're spending more money, average spend, than anything else that goes through the till, that type of person, it's still not a fraction of what people were spending 2 years ago. We had people, mate, come in that shop every single Friday or Saturday or Tuesday or whatever their day was and spend 200 quid without blinking an eye.
Yeah.
every single week, and they might even come back 2 days later. What's new in, mate? What new liquid have you got? What new RDAs have you got? What's this? What? And they'd walk away with 2 new RDAs, another 200 or 300 ml of liquid, and that but all of us were new to it.
Yeah.
So we all got excited by it. So when a new RDA come out, everyone, like I've said before, I'd post to say I've got them in. By the time I got down to the shop at 6 o'clock after work, there's 6 people in the shop waiting for me to set one up and have a fuck about on it. Then they'd all buy one and fuck off home happy with it. Now it's a bit like there's much of a muchness. There's only so many ways you can skin a cat. There's only so many deck designs you can come up with. There's only so many styles of top cap you can come up with. There's only so many ways you can have airflow running through a fucking a deck. There's only so many ways you can get a mod to switch. It's been done. I'm not saying there's nothing new to come, because there's always some. I mean, that new mod that Benny's done that used to own Scoundrel, for me personally, it's one of the ugliest looking pieces of shit I've ever seen. However, the switch on that is fucking badass, man. It is fucking banging. I don't like the look of it. That's just me personally. Aesthetically, I think it looks disgusting. That says people that have bought it and using it are loving it. But he's come up with something completely new on the switch, and it's fucking good. It's clever. The new mod, I don't know how in depth Chris went into the mod last week for the Pandemonium.
He went into it, and what amused me was when Rick saw it, and Rick was like, "It's just a tube," and then he showed him, and Rick was like, "Fucking hell, that's mint!" And it actually just, by looking at the tube itself, he just like, "Yeah, it's just a newer tube that's out." And then he took the sleeve off and broke it apart. He fucking blew him away, which was really cool. It was really, really cool, because he was like, "Actually, you know what? It's not just another tube."
I haven't even watched last week's show.
That was generally nice, because Rick was honestly sat there and he was like, "Yeah, it's just another."
To me to say, mate, that fucking mod's clever.
Opinion on mesh coils. Not used them in years. They used to be just used on Jenny tanks. Now they're used in RDAs. Personally, not used them, so I can't give you an opinion. But if anybody else wants to give Scott an opinion in chat, you are more than welcome.
So for anyone that didn't see last week's show, there's the switch. There's the mod tube. I don't know. Did Chris go up close with it on how it went together?
Everything. He did absolutely everything. Yeah, he was honestly. It made me smile with Rick. Just my smile now is just because of Rick's reaction. Because at first he just thought Chris held up the tube and went.
So I've got a switch. I've got a body. I've got the hybrid. Drop my battery in. Hybrid on. And that's the tubes assembled.
Because Chris mentioned about
I've got a 510 hybrid on this. We're just waiting for the H2S deck to come, which is a hybrid V2S. And for anyone that says, "Oh God, there's going to be massive voltage drop," I'm not joking. This mod hits it hits wickedly, man. And I know on the next prototype that comes in, has got the new switch on it as well. Which, not stealing anything from Chris, because this is Chris's design for the actual tube. I've come up with a switch design that I think is going to be fucking awesome, and one that I toyed with doing myself, and literally could not get I could not translate what I wanted to do to China. Now the good thing about this is I don't know if you can see that sleeve, the design in that.
He did mention one thing, and I want to mention one thing. He said, "Paul fucking hates the logo."
I don't so much hate it. I don't like it. Can you see the logo on there?
Yeah.
So the logo's on there. Now, the good thing about that is you'll see that it's lined up perfectly with the Slam M25.
I'm going to put you on full.
And then if the Slam M25 was round there for some reason, then you can just spin the tube and it's still lined up.
See, that's awesome for pictures, isn't it? And that's what people are like.
No, I'm not even for pictures, mate. I'm talking like no matter where your RDA falls, you can line up the sleeve, so you can line up the logo regardless, unless it happens to fall exactly on this tube locator, which is probably slim to none because the tube locator is only about 1 mil wide. So even if you put it on and turn it 0.5 mil, the tube will stay on, it won't come off. So, I mean, the actual, and then obviously the stack sections, which I haven't got on me at the moment, but if you've got 2 decks, you could turn these from single to stacked in about 30 seconds.
He did mention something about you could make it into a box and stuff like that. He didn't go into detail, but he said we could do stuff like putting it into a box and stuff like that.
We started working on a box design where you can snap the mod in, and you can have a series box, or you can have a parallel box, or you can have a squonker. There's lots and lots and lots and lots and endless options for this mod, literally. Which is what I mean. As I said, this is Chris's design for the tube. But actually, when I seen it, I was like, you know what? It takes us straight back to our roots. I mean, the switch it's just nice, man. And it throws short on it. It genuinely, and I don't know how long his battery's been in there, but it's still not even like getting warm. My cotton's drying out before it's running 0.01 bang smack on. And literally, it's just.
I love the design, mate. I think it's brilliant. I think it's so different to anything that's out there.
No, there's nothing. And once we get the hybrid deck, then it will be 100% threadless.
I love that idea. I've got some topics that we can discuss, and I wanted to sort of take tonight on sort of going back to sort of the good times, as we could say. That's what I sort of wanted to get into. I wanted to sort of talk about our experiences in the past and sort of stuff we've seen. Sort of trying to give a little bit of a backstory. We've done our backstories about obviously us vaping and stuff like that, but people obviously don't know the times we've had of, obviously, as we discussed earlier, about going back to roots. You know, you're saying going back to the roots of endless options and stuff like that. I want you to tell us your best experience in vaping.
In what way?
It can be down from purchasing devices, from actually getting into vaping, into juices you've tried, absolutely anything. Sort of maybe even going to a meet and you remember that meet like it was yesterday. Sort of, I want to talk about the old, like you said earlier, and this catched me about our era of vaping. Nobody spent money like they did then. Nobody, no era of vaping will ever spend money like that. But as an experience and going through seeing vaping from C4s and twists to where it is now, what sort of would you say was your favorite time of vaping, shall we say, instead? And this is a toughie, and it will make you think because we've done so much fucking shit. That's why.
There's lots of things. I mean, on a personal level, it's things like people coming back into the shop after 9 weeks saying, I just wanted to say thanks very much for sorting me out because I've not had a fag since, and I've been to my fucking smoking clinic and I'm blowing 0 on the CO2 monitor and it's fucking brilliant, and thanks. There's the whole thing when I went to Wales and I went out to the circus and the geezer was using an endless mod while I was stood having a vape at the interval. Best experiences are various events where the likes of Shady Vaping and all its fucking firm, Grey Eyes and all its firm, Evolution and all its firm, people from TYV and all its firm, we're all in one roof at one time together with no drama, no shit, no bullshit. Everyone just having a fucking good banter, good laugh, and then we all drove back home and carried on with our businesses. That's what I miss. And even now, meets aren't the same because people are like, I ain't going to that meet. Fuck him. I'm not going there. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm not supporting this person. I'm not supporting that person. It's gone, done, in my opinion. So, I mean, I used to love the fact that we could, like, we were sort of even more so than Evolution. If I go back 4 years ago, Grey Eyes were smashing shit, mate. We went head to head with them with our shop 2 miles away or 3 miles away. and actually give them a good run for their money and probably change the way that they done their business because we took off so quickly. We've always been in competition with Evolution, but for different reasons, and Evolution are 9 miles away from our shop, so our daily customers aren't the same. There's obviously, as people progressed in their vaping experiences, people that would shop at both. There's people that migrated back to us as their main shop. There's people that stayed at Evo as their main shop. So we're never in daily competition with Evolution, really. I would say Grey A's more than anyone. But to be able to just go to a meet and at their premises with our people in our T-shirts, and you come down and Evolution lads were there and all other people from all different parts of the industry were there, and actually everyone have a proper good crack, talk about how business was, talk about how we were doing. We were all still enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
And on that basis, because we were all enjoying the ride, there was no bullshit, no bollocks, no fucking shit. It just thought they were just good nights, man.
I want to touch back on what you said about people coming in and thanking you and stuff like that. I'm trying to word it properly. Do you think there's not that appreciation anymore? Do you think that has got? I just want to get it out of my mind because I feel like, me personally, I'm going to say it on my behalf, that I feel like that sort of respect and appreciation isn't there anymore. You know, somebody could come in the shop and be like, you know, I really appreciate it. It happened at Expo, and Tash was stood there and Simone was stood there, and this person thanked me for everything I've done. Before, I'm sure people would have walked in the shop every day and spoke to you, Paul, and gone, we appreciate everything you do. And this is not because we like the tap on the back. What I'm saying is, you know, we're trying to help you as much as we are, you know, ourselves. And sort of that appreciation of even just saying, you know what I mean, I've quit the fags. You know, I used to say to people, come back in the shop, say hello, let us know how you're getting on. People would do that, but now people sort of the finer details of people coming in and actually giving a fuck and saying, actually, I'm giving you an update, is not there anymore.
I don't know, mate. I think we still get lots of people come back. I can honestly say with my hand on my heart, genuinely, and this is not me being pretentious and I'm not giving it the big one. We had months in our business where I could have bought me and Tasha brand new Range Rovers with a month's takings each. And as nice as that was, I've never got as much satisfaction as people coming back in that shop or someone coming in. The most satisfying thing for me was a situation where a couple came into the shop. One of them wanted to start vaping. One of them didn't have any inkling into wanting to quit his cigarettes. And the one person will come in, they'd buy their kit, and they might, I mean, bearing in mind, Tom, some of these sales, they would an hour and a half's worth of communication from start to finish. You weren't just getting people in and saying, right, mate, you want a 20 quid quick, fuck off out, I've got more people to serve. And you've been in our shop when we've been 10 or 12, 15, 20 deep at that fucking till back in the day.
Yep.
And still, we afforded the right time to the people to make sure they left with that right kit. I can remember being in that shop on Saturdays where couples came in and the woman wanted to start vaping and the bloke was like, you can stick that up your arse, mate, I'm happy with my fags. And reluctantly, after grief off his missus for an hour, he bought a kit. And he'd be like, well, I'll use it when I'm in the house and whatever. And then people coming back into that shop a week later, 2 weeks later, in some cases 6 weeks later, and saying, mate, it's the best thing I ever fucking done. Or yeah. I would like when I was in the shop every week, you'd obviously see the same people that would come in on a Saturday, they'd come in on a Tuesday night, they'd come in on a Thursday night. For them people to come back in and go, all right, mate, what flavours have you got and how are you getting on with it, mate? I haven't touched the fag since. Fucking brilliant. And they were the people that brought their 2 pals with them and says, you need to start fucking vaping, mate. And then them 2 were successful. And they brought 3 people in, and so the business snowballed and cascaded into what it became. It's obviously now it's much easier for people to get their hands on vape gear, and it's I think there's a lot of people that start vaping now that just take it for granted because they can go and buy it from the petrol station. They don't really understand it. They don't really know what they're doing. They probably don't know when the coils need changing. They might be able to go on YouTube, but there again, for me, I'm not the sort of person that I never, ever go on YouTube and look at for a review of anything. It's not something I've ever done. Yet Dave, who works in our shop, I'll say to him, "Oh, mate, what do you think about such and such kit?" And he'll be like, "I'll have a look on YouTube." And he'll watch fucking 20 videos and he'll phone me back up and go, "Mate, yeah, that fucking tank's quality." Or I just don't do it because I'm just not wired that way. So I don't know whether these people that choose to go to I'm the sort of person that, because I'm not going to go onto YouTube and I'm not going to fucking learn myself how to use it, I would have, as a non-vape shop owner, still travelled to a vape shop to start vaping.
Yeah.
To sit down with the likes of you, the other side of the counter, and say, right, I'm smoking 60 cigarettes a day. I don't give a fuck if the kit's £10 or £1,000. What do I need that's going to give me the best experience to stop me smoking cigarettes? And you might say X. Right, I've got this in front of me. How do I use it? How do I fill it up? What do I need to do? How do I maintain it? What's going to have to be replaced on it? What's consumable? How long can I expect it to last? These are all the questions I ask when I'm buying something. So when we started selling stuff, we always sold on the basis that people like me were buying the product. So anybody that came into our shop, anybody that we delivered a kit to on their doorstep in the fucking early days, didn't just get a delivery and a fucking... We used to have PayPal card machines back then before we even had the shop. We could set credit card payments on people's doorsteps for vape stuff. Actually, I never once handed over a parcel, stuck the card in the machine, got the 4 digits and yep, saying see you later.
Yeah.
These were people that didn't have a clue what vaping was. They didn't have a clue how to use the shit. I might have 30 deliveries to do, and sometimes I'll be at an house for 45 minutes. Saying, well, this is how you fill it up. This is what you do. When it starts tasting funky, you need to change this. You need to do that. This is how you do. There was always that same repetitive sales pitch that weren't a sales pitch because I'd already sold them their shit. I didn't even have to sell it in the early days, mate. They were fucking messaging me to deliver them stuff. And when we opened the shop, I didn't have to advertise because we had a queue of people wanting to buy our shit off us. What was important to me was making sure then people left knowing how to use that product.
Yeah.
And because we educated them properly, our success rate was massive. Our return customer rate was massive. They bring people with them. They get converted. They bring people with them. They get converted. And so it snowballed on and on and on. And we continue that same ethos to this day. I never, ever, ever, I hate selling a kit to someone who says, I ain't got time to show me how to use it, mate. I'll sort it out.
Yeah.
They're the same twats that come back in a week's time saying, I've been through 9 coils, mate. It's burning coils out. So I'm just that sort of person. I want to sit down with you and take it apart, show you what's what, how to use it, how to prime your coil, how to fill your tank. Start off at 20 watts, go up to 25 watts, up to 30 watts, get to 35 watts. If that's fine for you, turn your airflow down a bit. Don't be obsessed with having your air fucking fully open and your watts fully up. Find something that works for you and spend some time with them. You can't get that in a petrol station. You can't get that from Argos. You can't get that from buying off my website. You can't.
You can get that from the majority of vape shops, can you, Paul? These days, let's be real. Let's be realistic. You can't get that from vape shops these days. It's not down to customer experience. It's down to how you'd want to be treated and making sure the person knows how that device works. And I think that's what brings people into vape shops. As in, it's such a niche market for them to walk through that door in the first place. You know what I mean? You don't go to a vape shop to go have a look through a window, do you? You go to a vape shop because you know what you want to go get. You want to know what you want to do. So when there's somebody there actually explaining everything to you and actually taking their time out for you to understand it, for me personally, that makes that experience a million times better. You know, and I think that's lost. And that's sort of where I sit back, and we've done this plenty of times when we've sort of reminisced on the times of how it used to be and whatnot. And obviously you still carry on that same ethos and you do that throughout the shops, regardless whether it's 2014 or 2018, that ethos has carried on and you carried on doing that. But I think that's very much lost in this sort of pop-up shops. So people just want people to walk in, tell them gear, fuck them off.
I think it's lost in a lot of shops, mate. And I think we spoke about this, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, about the fact that I consider myself an experienced vapor. I was going to say pro vapor then, just for the I consider myself to be a very experienced vapor with a very good understanding of products and product knowledge and why something works in one system that won't work on another system, why some liquids taste shit in a tank but they taste good on a dripper. I've started to learn and understand. And I've done that so I could get the best experience I could get. And once I've got the knowledge to be able to give myself the best experience I need, I've got some knowledge to pass it on to other people to help them get their best experience out of vaping as well.
Yeah.
But when we first started selling to customers 4 years ago in the shop and 5 years ago at the doorstep, the assumption with every single sale that we done was they didn't have a fucking clue what it was. And actually, most 99 out of 100 people came in and said, I haven't got a clue what vaping is, don't know what an electric cigarette is, don't know how they work, I want to stop smoking, can you help me? On that basis, we had a very routine mantra to educate them in half an hour what vaping was, what it done, how the liquid worked, the fact that there was a coil in there that was consumable, it needed to be changed, this is how it works, this is what you do, and da 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 da. When you get to the point where someone's coming in your shop saying, and you've never seen them before, say, all right, mate, have you got a rainbow smock alien kit, and have you got such and such liquid, and I want the Q2 coil because I don't like the Q4 coil. Your assumption starts to be that they understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
But the truth of it is, they probably don't in a lot of cases, because they've bought it off a Facebook page, or they've bought it off the internet because their pal uses it. And even to this day, the amount of people that say to me, like Tasha literally will run every mod that she has at the highest possible wattage that coil will take, but she's in a luxury position where if the call lasts her 12 hours, she fucking gets another call from the shop and puts it in a mod and cracks on with it. That's the way she enjoys vaping. It's the vaping style. That's cool. I've tried turning her hair down and turning her watts down and saying, listen, that's doing the same thing. It's not what she wants. The amount of people that come into our shop with their hair fully open and they're going, it's just the flavour shit. And I'll take it off them and I'll say, mate, close your hair halfway. And actually, they go, oh, yeah, but it's about clouds as well, bro. Mate, close your hair halfway, right? And first off, you're going to get a denser cloud for starters. Because with your hair fully open at 35 watts, you're getting a right fluffy shit cloud. So if you want to improve your cloud game, shut your hair down. Secondly, your flavour will probably double. Thirdly, drop it from 55 watts to 35 watts with half air. Your battery will last longer, your coil will last longer, your liquid will last longer. Now, it's not in my interest from one of my customers to be getting a longer life out of their batteries, the coils, or their fucking liquid.
Exactly.
It's not in my interest to show a customer how to prime a coil. It's not in my interest to tell the woman who uses an ego pen still that the minute she lifts it from the side of her waist and fires it all the way up in the air till it gets to her mouth and then takes a drag, that she's goosing a coil. But we do them things, and we've always done them things, and we try and educate people to get the best life out of anything that they buy off us, whether that be a tenner or £1,000 worth of spend. Because I firmly believe that if we'd done it right first time round, we would have repeat business for a much longer time. And that proved that showed massive dividends in our repeat business. But there's still lots of people out there that think they're pro vapors, mate, who haven't got a clue what they're using, how it works. They just know that they press the button, they inhale, it blows a cloud, and everyone goes, oh, mate, Danny's sick at blowing clouds, bro. But Danny don't really understand what the fuck he's using, how it works, why sometimes it doesn't work. We used to, like, if one of our coils stopped working, mate, we'd take it apart, you'd fuck about with the spring, you'd get it working. Now, people come in and go, all right, mate, I bought this 9 months ago, it stopped working, man, it's fucked. New coil. What do you mean? Where does the coil go? Well, where did you buy it from? The petrol station?
Oh, there you go. I think it's just, to me, then it comes back to my mindset of too many chiefs, not enough Indians. And if I can explain to somebody that even if you go into a vape shop just once, just for them to give you this spiel and to speak to you about what the device does, how vaping is, and actually learn something. Because let's be realistic, Paul, and this is to people in the chat as well, is there is a lot of ignorant people out there who just want to have that ease, as we've said, about literally like a fag, put it out, pack, light it up, off you go. It's that ease. They don't want to learn. It's not the fact that they're ignorant. It's the fact is that they probably haven't got time, or say they haven't got time to listen, as you've said. And it's sort of, to me, if you go into a vape shop and they actually know what they're talking about, you're going to learn a lot more than you are by going on YouTube because it's just an opinion, or buying something offline because you're not going to understand the device. And I appreciate that people can't always get down to shadors and whatnot and can't understand it. But this industry is so open to being able to speak to as many people as you can and actually get the correct information. People just go to, as you say, Dave who's at work, who's blowing a cloud, thinks he fucking knows it all. They listen to him. don't get the correct information, and then they follow on the information he's already told them and don't seek out other information. To me personally, the more information you can gain and soak in into your mind and actually think this is how shit works, the more you're learning. But there's that attitude out there that isn't giving that anymore. You know, you can. That's just my opinion. I don't know if it's everybody else's opinion, but that's just mine. And I sort of feel like the old school vibe of going into a shop, listening to people's opinions, listening to what the staff have got to say behind the tills, has long gone.
I think it has in the main, but I think that you know where it's retired. And I'm not saying this because we do it, mate. Because we're old school. Because Evolution are old school. Because Grays are old school. Innovators, I'm trying to think of TYV are newer, but you were old school. We still retain that same old school way of selling vape stuff to people.
Yeah.
And even to this day, mate, if I'm in that shop and someone comes in and asks for a Smock Alien kit, I always ask them, how long have you been vaping? Do you still smoke? You long inhale, do you want to make the long? And then 9 times out of 10, they don't know the difference. And the minute they say, what's the difference? You know that they don't need a Smock Alien. But they want a Smock Alien because Dave at work told them Smock Alien's what they need to have.
Yeah.
So I think if you're an old school retailer, and I consider us to be an old school retailer, we still work semi on the assumption that people ain't got a fucking clue.
Yeah.
I think that's the best place to start, because from there you can have a conversation, you can gauge someone's knowledge, what they need, what they want, what they think they want, what they actually need, and then you can break it down and give them something hopefully that works for them. In the last 2 years, again, this is complete figures off the top of my head, out of the amount of shops that's opened in the last 2 years, I would say at least 50% of them, the people that own them, still smoke. But the margins are good, and they're going to be millionaires, and they want Lamborghinis and Range Rovers, and we're going to go into vaping. They're literally selling product, mate. They could be selling loaves of bread, tins of dog food, or vapes. It doesn't matter to them.
Yeah, I think
when someone goes in their shop and says, "Can I have a rainbow Smock Alien?" They go, "Yep, $59.99, please, mate." Okay, does that need batteries? Yep, 2 batteries, 15 quid. Do I need a charger? Yep, 20 quid. Bam. Your man leaves it, and then he's sat at home with his instructions going, how the fuck do I fill this up? Trying to use his 18 milligram 50-50 liquid in it.
In his eyes sub G.
That's my concern with vape shops now, is that actually a lot of people not even that they've lost their way, mate. They never found their way because they just came into this as a retail. It's just something that they're retailing. All the old school people that were doing this, mate, were all vapors.
That's it. That's the main point, and this is sort of the subjects I'm getting on, is that the majority of the old school shop owners were actually learning the graft themselves because they didn't know fuck all about vaping themselves, and they were vapors. But if you're selling a product that you don't have a clue about, and you get people in who don't have a clue what they're doing either, well, where the fuck do you go from there? And I get that, yes, business is business, but this isn't the sort of market where business is business. It's got to be either learned or at least attempted to be learned. Do you know what I mean? I go back and I think about the old stories about us, as you say, about us going to the vape meets and stuff like that, and we're all sort of ripping the shit and having a giggle and whatnot, but we're all sort of giving each other the experience and learning off each other. And as I said, I think I may have said this before a few weeks ago, when we used to sit on hangouts and we used to talk on hangouts, and we just sit there and build and talk about building while we was just sitting there every night, ripping a coil out, fresh build every night, 4 or 5 builds a night. And you'd be like, why the fuck are we doing this? But we're doing it because at the time we was actually all learning together. Okay. That learning curve now isn't there. And but to me, Paul, it is there, but it isn't, if you get what I mean. You know, there's people that are learning, and there's people that
learn, mate. I just think that the people that are in a position to be teaching, are under the misconception that there's nothing to be taught anymore because everyone who vapes knows what they're doing. And I don't believe that's the case in a lot of cases. I say we've had people, mate, come into our shop with an ego pen and they've been running the same CE4 for 7 months with black liquid because they didn't know it needed a coil change.
Fucking hell.
Because they bought it from the garage, they bought it from the news agents, and they just buy it. And oh yeah, mate, but fucking hell, you buy that once, you don't have to buy fags again. So all they've been doing for 7 months is putting liquid in the fucking thing. And I'll say to him, mate, when the fuck did you last change the coil in this? No one told me how to change anything. We used to stick them an Aspire C5 with a BVC coil in it. And they'd be like, fucking hell, I can taste me fucking liquid now. They've been loving life. But there's still that's my only concern with even our own website, to the point where back in the day, mate, I was not going to go online because I didn't have enough knowledge to sell it.
Yeah.
Without being face to face, let alone someone just going on there and saying, right, I want to fucking start vaping. I'm gonna go and buy something online. That's my concern with petrol stations, my concern with news agents, it's my concern with Asda, it's my concern with Amazon, it's my concern with my website, with James's website, with Tazzy's website. It's just that ultimately someone could get the product. Not that it's dangerous, just that they do not understand what they're doing. They don't understand how to use it. They don't use it correctly. Therefore, they become an advocate that vaping shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Ivor, turn that down.
That's
what I don't like. He's just that. He's just that people can get this stuff, and because they're not using it right, because they're uneducated, they just claim vaping shit.
Yeah.
And I hate that because I know that in 95% of cases, if you're willing to give up cigarettes and you've got a desire to give up cigarettes, I know I can get you the right device to satisfy your need not to smoke cigarettes. It might take 1 or 2 devices. It might take fucking 3 to 10 liquids. It might take different strengths. It might take a different style of coil. Ultimately, I can sort you out and I can get you off fags.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to touch on what Pixie said. I know Pixie's pretty fresh, but she said something about brand rivalry ? To me personally, and probably Paul will agree to this, back in the day there was never that brand rivalry. It was very much when we went to the meets, we were all our own separate brands, but we were all together. It was very much one thing. We was all learning off each other. There was never sort of that fuck you, which there is now. But there was never that back then, brand rivalry. Do you agree with me, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think the bigger business got, the more fierce it got, the more paranoid people get. They start holding everything close to their chest.
Yeah, definitely. It's like the post office have started selling the IQOS, and they are stopping selling vape stuff. Well, that's what Nikki said. They started the IQOS is now in the post office. Well, if that's what they want to sell, that's what they sell. That's where it should be, in a fucking post office, not in a vape shop.
We could put IQOS in our vape shop. They will pay me £800 a month to have a television in the shop window. They will give my staff 25% of every sale that they make on an IQOS system, and the highest selling member of staff will get £200 worth of Amazon vouchers a month, and they get free kits, and they get free pods, and they get free this, and they get free that, because Philip Morris has got pockets deeper than me, James, Dale, Taz, fucking Mandeep, and Matt, and everyone else put together. And literally, he's on a massive advertising campaign to put IQOS out there. Now, for me personally, I would never, ever put IQOS in my shop unless Philip Morris buys my business for £5 million. He can put whatever the fuck he likes in the shop. I don't give 2 fucks. Well, it's mine. I'll never, ever sell an IQOS in that shop. However, I get that the shops out there that may be struggling, that the television in the windscreen would pay their rent every month.
Yeah.
25%. And they're giving wicked margins on this. I mean, I don't know what an IQOS system is, about 80 quid.
100 quid.
So £100 retail. For everyone that I sell, I'll get 60 quid because they're doing about a 60% margin on it. Then I'll get a 25% bonus on the sale. And I'll get more on top of that if I'm the biggest seller in the shop that month. So then, if I put them in more shops tomorrow, every single member of staff it'd be in their interest personally to sell as many IQOS as they can. My interest to put a television in both the shops, covers the rent on both shops, just have 2 tellies in the window advertising it. That's me sorted. Then my staff, oh, you don't want an AO, mate, you want a fucking IQOS. It's just like smoking a fag. Because they're getting their pockets lined. So I understand why some shops are doing it. Touch wood. And thankfully, I'm not in a position where I need the £800 a month for a television in my shop window to pay my rent.
Yeah.
I've not got staff in there that would be in a position to even push that shit because they're passionate about what they do. So, but I understand why some vape shops have got it. It'll never ever happen in mine, not unless Philip Morris buys the cunt. And like I said, he can fill it with fucking cigarettes if he likes. I don't give a shit.
Well, we spoke about experiences and stuff like that, and we talked about a little bit about memories and stuff like that. Is there anything that sort of like outshines to you, Paul, about the industry that you may miss, or if I can fucking see you?
Anything about the industry that I miss?
Is there anything sort of like stands out to you that you could go, fucking hell, I wish it was like that, or I love them days, or this experience is the best? You know what I mean? Is there sort of something that if you could say to me, Tom, I want to bring this back, and this is how I want it to be, and this is the best time I've had, what would you say you'd want back in this?
That whole community thing, mate. The whole community thing, without a doubt. And actually, the one thing that really, really excited me about Expo in May is there was a hell of a lot of newbies in there. Lots and lots of people that I spoke to. It was their first event. They'd never been to anything like it before. When I spoke to Jay from the Expo, he was saying that about 40% of the tickets were to newcomers, which is potentially out of the 30-odd thousand people that went through there, 40% is going to be somewhere in the region of 12,000 people. Yeah. My hope is that these 12,000 people, there's X thousand of them that start grabbing the industry by its bollocks and making them the new people of the industry. Because the old boys, and the old boys being the Ollie Deeks, the Chris Boneses of this world, they're doing different things. They're vaping different styles, and Ollie's still sponsored by Soy, I believe. And but the bottom line is he's using a 0.3, 0.4 mouth to long restricted squonk kit, and the whole style has changed. Therefore, you haven't got the same desire to go to the meet, because back then Ollie was going to them meets to blow a fucking cloud.
Yeah,
simple as that. And he'd enter the competition, and 9 times out of 10 the comp won it. Bones would go there, so other people would go there to see Bones, and I'd always have a chat with Bones. And then as people start dropping out of their meets, you're a bit like, well, I ain't going to bother going because I don't know anyone there, and I only used to go there because such and such was going. Well, actually, there's so much room for a new generation of vapor to come into this industry, and they become the faces of the cloud comps. They become the faces of the trick scene, and they become the people that someone wants to go and see at a meet and stuff like that. I'm hopeful that we can see some of that coming back in. And so when I see the likes of Zach and his pals coming in and buying mechs and getting excited over stack mods, and even going home and building it and then sending me a little WhatsApp video of his build and he's firing his mod, that was all shit we were doing 4 years ago. And I used to do a build here at home, and I'd got some parallel 22 gauge fucking raw running at about 0.05 or something mad, not really knowing what he was running at, and I'd fire it and it'd be fucking, my mod would be red hot, and I'd send a little WhatsApp to the staff at the shop saying, fucking hell, I've done this sick build. I don't do that anymore now. I build my mod, and even if it's a sick build, I just crack on and vape it. So I'm also responsible for not keeping that momentum of the whole industry going. I don't know what it is, mate. I feel like I've still got the passion. Without the passion, it's the only way I can explain it. I don't know if I assume that people are bored. I don't know if I assume that people don't particularly want to see me doing a cloud video on mech addiction or whatever group it might be. I don't know. We've evolved as people, and the industry's evolved, and business is different, and maybe we should all make an effort to revive it, because by us doing that, new people will start to come on board and start to post videos and travel to vape meets just to enter the cloud comp and whatever. So I don't know.
Well, just for me personally talking, I'm in the same boat. I remember when we used to have the excitement for it, and sort of we've got the excitement there, but for some reason we don't act on the excitement and stuff. maybe it is because obviously we're growing as people or whatever. I just, to me personally, when I look at all the groups and I see these new people coming through, I get excited by it. I generally do get excited by it. And when we get new people talking in chat on here, I love it because obviously there's new people coming in and seeing what we're about and coming in and having a chat with us. And I generally love that. I just sit there and I always think there's always got to be that person who has to have a face. Do you know what I mean? We can't just become one. It's always like follow the leader sort of thing. You know what I mean? We sort of sit here and, you know, yes, we get stopped at expos, and that's the nice thing for us. You know, we get a pat on the back. We don't do it for that. We enjoy it. And if we get a pat on the back, so be it. We're not doing it for that reason. And we never started out for that reason. Never, ever. That wasn't our thing. We wasn't there going, oh, okay, we're going to do this because we'll get noticed when we walk around expo. Believe it, when me and Paul want to go for a piss and it takes us 45 minutes to go for a piss, you know what I mean? We never asked for that. But we obviously appreciate everyone coming up and saying hello. To me, it's sort of somebody, people always want to be somebody. They can't just be this collective like it used to be. You know, it used to be Big Tom, Paul Harrison, Dale, you know what I mean? All lads coming together and having a laugh, having a banter. It's always got to be someone that shines out. And if we sort of took that ego away from it and just everyone sort of got on and everyone took it back to me, because people don't, when we say take it back, some people don't understand what we mean by taking it back old school. We get that. But if everyone lost an ego and sort of got on together and didn't have this relationship of, I'm in this group, don't go in any other group, I'm on this team, I don't fucking use anybody else's but that team, you know what I mean? I feel like if we take that ego away from things, people will come back together and it'll be more than, you know, more of a family, more of the community it used to be, rather than we have to follow this person, we can't follow that person because of this person and that person. To me, that's what needs knocking on the fucking head right there. That is simply what would make the industry a lot better. 100%, 110%.
Yeah, but we created, and we being the vendors, the manufacturers, the juice manufacturers, we created that. Them arseholes, we created that whole.
But we wasn't out there to do that. Do you get what I mean? It was
No, but I mean, boy,
the faces now.
I'm talking more of like you became Big Tom off YouTube because you'd done reviews with Damien to start off with, and then you started doing your own thing, and you were out there and doing it, and your opinion was respected by some and hated by others, the same as every other reviewer that's out there. But people started to like you for being you, and those that didn't like you. That's just life. That's just the way it is. I became me because of Shady Vaping and then Endless, and then just being very, very active in the community. And all them other faces that did them things. Like I said this before, Ollie Deeks, even Mikey Subone back then when he was sponsored by Native Wicks and them sort of people, you go, you know what, I'm going to try that Native Wicks. If Mike's using it, I'll give it a go. And then because that happened, you've got these newcomers that came into it trying to get the sponsorship, trying to push brands and be these brand ambassadors. And I see it now, mate. And I don't know.
It's not natural though. This is what it's sort of it was organic from our point of view. It was organic. We didn't get into this industry and think, fucking hell, we can become a face of this industry. It's a new industry. Let's see how much free shit we can get and da. You know, that wasn't our mindset, and it's never been our mindsets. And sort of, to me, it's sort of people come in and they go, fucking hell, I go on Facebook and this person runs a group. They've got 15,000 people watching, and fucking, I could do that. I'll go set up a group. Now we've got 20 million Facebooks and only 40,000 people circulating the bastards.
Yeah.
We take away that ego and everyone gets along and everyone does it organically and naturally, you're going to become someone and be appreciated.
Like that. If you go back 3 years ago, so even before Endless come out, there was a handful of decent sized 10 to 15,000 type numbered groups on Facebook, and there was a few subsidiary groups where they were discussing certain topics. And even if you go back, I mean, I think Safer Vapors was probably one of the first sort of. You got them. You had UK Vape Trades, which was a big group back in the day, but then when UK Squonker started, there was a very, very few amount of people in there because it was something so different. And now it's probably one of the most active groups on Facebook.
Yeah.
There was issues on. I was really, really active on UK vape trades, and we used to sponsor the group, and we get involved in vendors' days and all them sort of things. And then there was an issue with John Bold selling on there because he was too cheap. Now that issue weren't with me; that was with the people who run the page. So John Bold got banned from that group, so we started, or someone else started, Approved Vapors. Approved Vapors is probably the biggest vape group on Facebook now, with 30-odd thousand members.
Yep.
John allows any man and their dog to advertise as long as you're a registered and approved vendor. But what happened was, even mech addiction, there was mech addiction, and there's always been rules on that page. And if you broke the rules, I can remember you getting kicked out.
I've been kicked off twice, me. I'm not even going to lie. I've been kicked off twice.
It didn't matter who you was. There was rules to follow. And if you didn't follow the rules, you got kicked out, and people accepted that. But then the wrong people get kicked out, so they start up their own group, and it's going to be all about their Met page. And then there's a big shitstorm between two new groups then, because they're fucking trying to degrade the old group, so all their members will go across this new page. And then you got like this infighting within the industry where they were like, "Now you need to come to my group, man. Fuck mech addiction." And even now, there's rules on mech addiction's not my page, mate. I'm an admin on that page. Mark Sky made me an admin. He pretty much gave me free reign to do what I like on the page. I try not to post more shit on mech addiction now, because I don't want people going, "Oh, fucking hell, it's more about endless addiction. It's fucking Paul Harrison, this, Paul Harrison, that." We've got sponsors on the group. So if people are posting watermark pictures, they get deleted. There's people on there that post snidey fucking pictures just to advertise the shop that the product's from. The posts get deleted. There's people that's unfriended me because I've deleted their posts on mech addiction. No, I'm not the cock for... You're the cock. If you're ever a Facebook group, you need to fucking grow some fucking pubes. I don't get it. For the same reason that if I go on someone else's group, I abide by their rules.
It's egos. It's just egos.
That's what I mean. There's people that fucking think. You know what, Tom? Without being an egotistical arsehole, I could probably get away with posting what I wanted on most groups.
Yeah.
Even when I'm pushing the boundaries and I'm taking the piss, I genuinely, and always have tried not to do that. Now on mech addiction, I can post Shady Vaping's website. It sells clothes, but I can post it because I'm allowed to. And there's people that will go, every time it happens, I'll go, and I can post my wire. Flat Wire's a sponsor of that page. And if I post up Build 'em, there's always the same handful of people that go, "I thought Flat Wire was a sponsor." They are. How come you've posted this? Because I can. I don't need to explain myself to you. But actually, start your own group if that's what you want to do. And don't allow me to post on it, and I won't post on it. I won't take the piss with your group. And then I get people then posting. I've been onto the AF page earlier, and there's people advertising other people's juice on there, and I'm like, it's just. And I mean, I would never ever go onto Apex Mods. I wouldn't go onto Apex Mods and post a link to an Endless mod on there because I'm not an arsehole.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? But you've got these people that are like, you know what, fuck Paul and his rules, man. I'm going to post this. And then when they get deleted, they get all sore and bitter. And I'm just a bit like, why did you think you were that fucking far up your own arse that you can do what you like when you like? You can't. That's just life. That's how it is.
Exactly.
And the same people have got groups themselves that kick off when someone breaks their rules. Get a fucking grip, you prick, man. You know what I mean? They start, like I said it the other day. There's people that have blew smoke up my arse, mate, when they're hanging with a certain clique. And I've seen videos of people going, "Oh, Paul Harrison's a genius, man. He's fucking say anything you like about him, but he knows how to make a mud." And then because they're hanging in with a new group of people who don't like me or don't like Endless,
yeah,
they're the same people that go, "Nah, man, Endless is shit." Actually, you're a fickle prick who can't hold a friendship. So you feel the need to hang on to all these different groups of people and follow the pack because you can't have an opinion of your own.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I've got one of Lee's Apex mods there. I've never built it because I've built them 3 mods are the only mods I've built. I didn't even have a mod all weekend at Expo. I've got the prototype Pandemonium and 2 Emperors there. One of them's the prototype Emperor, and all I've done is put the new cap on, and the other one is a purple one because I fancy the purple mod. I've got absolutely no alliance to not promoting Lee's products because it's different to what we do. It's a UK-made product. It's a lot more expensive than Endless. It is what it is. So Jake from AIV genuinely is one of the nicest kids I've spoke to. He's funny. He's straight to the point. He's got no shit, but he's not an arsehole.
Mm.
And I'm not like I put a status up yesterday on Facebook, and it was just it was probably a long time coming actually. But I don't want people to blow smoke up my arse, Tom. I don't want people to love everything that I do, but I don't understand what motivates someone to hate everything that I do.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact, and this isn't like you put up your post in the week and it started off by saying it's not a fucking begging post. Mine weren't a begging post. Actually, when I put up a post like that, I really hope that some people read it and it clicks that they're an absolute fucking thunder cunt and they need to sort their shit out. It's not for people to inbox me going, "Oh, Paul, we love you lots and we think you're the best thing since sliced bread." I understand why some people don't like me, Tom. They're the same people that do like me when something's going their way. They're the same people
that stood in front of you.
No, not even that. There's people that fucking have rid my wave just to get to where they need to get to. And when they've got there, they feel like they don't need me anymore. So actually, Paul's just a fat prick. Now, I can live with that. I haven't got an issue. I'm not on Facebook to make 6,000 friends. I've got friends. I've got people I could phone up in the middle of the night and they'd fucking bury someone for me. Right? I've got some good friends around me. I've got thousands of acquaintances around me. And even Daniel Littleworth had a post up in the week. And obviously someone's rawly pissed him off, man. He was having a fucking rant about people within your circle fucking you over. And the only thing I can say to anyone, I don't even think Daniel's 30 years old, so he's sort of your agey type thereabouts. I'm 42. I've lived a good life, and I've mixed in some mad circles, and I've had lots of people that I would consider friends. And over the last 10 years, one thing that I learned is, for all the people that I considered to be friends, they weren't. They were just some sort of colleague in one way or another, whether that was work related, business related, fucking gang related, not ganging such as like, oh yeah, we're in a firm and we're going to go around and shoot someone. But I mean, to me, I just learned that actually out of all the people, and I know a lot of people, Tom, I know lots and lots and lots of people, and there's lots and lots of people who think they know me, but they don't. They just think that they do. I could count all my friends on that hand, mate.
Yeah.
And on that basis, when you're working with someone and you get fucked over, don't take it personally. Don't take it that your friends fucked you over. They were never a friend.
Yeah.
They were just someone using you to get to where they needed to get to. And that's business, really. If I need to blow smoke up the arse of a supplier to get the right price to be able to sell it in my shop cheaper than anyone else, I'll do it. I'm not his pal. I'm just doing business. It's what it is. But there's a lot of people that get emotionally invested in people and consider a friendship to have blossomed where there's no fucking friendship to start off with.
Yeah.
It's only an emotional thing up here that these friends fucked you over. They weren't never your friend.
100%.
They might not have even been trying to be your friend. You might be just the sort of person that assumes that you've blossomed a friendship.
Yeah, you've got emotionally attached, yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can still be absolutely dedicated to someone for a business reason without being emotionally attached to that person. And actually, that's just benefit of me being 42 years old and have mixed in some mad circles with some mad people and learnt over the years that people that I consider to be the best of friends have fucked me over. And actually, at the time, it crippled me. One person in particular absolutely done for years, it done my head in that he'd fucking mug me off. We're actually 10 years on, and it's the best thing he ever done because he's not mugging me off anymore. And it also opened my eyes to every other person that comes into my life. That actually, I take people now with a pinch of salt until I trust them. Because you can come in with the biggest smile and you can do me the best deal on this and the best deal on that. The bottom line is you're using me for something. And until our relationship can be used equally, backwards and forwards, I'm not doing it anymore. I have people going, oh, mate, do you want to stock my liquid in your shop? All they were doing was riding my fucking name of Shady Vaping to get their product out there.
Yeah.
And then the minute someone else offers them more money to take a bigger quantity, they'll drop me like a fucking hot coal, and I've spent fucking months grafting for them to push a product out there. I don't do it anymore. Push my own products, fuck them.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, I turn into the world's biggest cunt then. It doesn't matter that I've been cunted off time again by numerous amounts of people. The minute I have the stance of, well, fuck everyone else, everyone's going, oh, Paul's a miserable cunt now. Fucking got Endless, thinks he's the fucking bee's knees. I don't at all. I'm just doing me. I'm just doing my shit. If that don't fit in with what you're doing, I don't give two fucks, mate.
And if they were in that right mindset, they'd do exactly the fucking same. But they're not. They're trying to gain something off somebody else. And that's how exactly everything's fucking gone in this industry. And that is simply be all and end all at this moment in time. Is if you ain't gaining something, it's not worth doing. Goes back to fucking sponsorships. People want to have sponsors so they can get free shit. Well, I remember when we used to rep products because we liked them, not because we fucking wanted to gain something from them, because our mate was behind them. And we was pushing them because our mate was behind them, not because we was thinking, what can I get out of this person? And that is just, it might not even be this industry, it might be just people as they are, and they're fickle people, and that's what they want to do, and that's how they want to go through life, by using people to get where they want to be. That's by all means do it, but
that is life. It's life, mate, and it is. It's not this industry. This industry is just like really such a fierce industry. It's really, really close knit, and there is people that I know think that I'm their friend. And don't get me wrong, mate. There's people out there that are not my friends that I would help in a heartbeat. There's other people that I speak to because I have to speak to them.
yeah,
And other people that I could gladly walk past and not even acknowledge them. But I'm not an ignorant cunt. I'm not a horrible person. I try and be a straight up bloke. And like I put in my status the other day, I'm never ever pretending to be something that I'm not. I say shit on my fucking status some days that when I read them back afterwards, it might be a week, it might be a month, it might come up in my fucking time up a year later, and I think, what the fuck was I thinking when I posted that? But that's just because I'm just me.
yeah.
I'm not putting up a glitters and roses status every day and fucking finding some bullshit quotes on Google so I can be some sort of fucking thrill.
I do miss fucking Paul's wisdom's post though. I do miss you.
Well, you watched me the other day and says, bro, when you're doing a rant video, man, I'll miss a good rant off you. And to be honest, I stopped doing them on purpose because I was thinking, look, do people think I'm just making this up? Look, I wouldn't do a rant video every day, but if I'd done one, it was genuine, something that had fucking done my head in, do you know what I mean? And I don't know, mate. People are funny. My old man used to say it takes all sorts, and it's fucking true, it does. And not everyone's got the same opinion as me, and not everyone's got the same opinion as you. And I think as I've got older, I've learnt to understand that people's opinions are different. And just because I think I'm right doesn't mean that I'm right. I'm just right to me. So I try not to argue about people's opinions because everyone's entitled to have one.
Yeah, whether it's shit or not.
That's what I mean. But some people's opinions are damn fucking stupid, and I have to tell them about themselves. But generally, if someone's got an opinion on something, I might put my opinion against it, but I won't ever say that you're wrong because you can't be wrong on an opinion. It's a bit like a joke. To me, a joke's a joke, regardless of the content, whether it's about fucking cancer, whether it's about Madeleine McCann or whatever. If you look past the fact it's a joke, it's just a joke.
Of course.
And
it's your issue to get offended.
Mate, you can't give offence. Offence is taken.
Yeah.
And believe me, mate, for as much as I might put shit on Facebook, there's a lot of stuff I don't put on. There's a lot of
posts. I can imagine the shit you delete before
posts get deleted before I press the post button.
Oh, I can imagine. We've had a great show this week. I've actually really enjoyed it. We've got some shit off our chest. We spoke about a lot of things. And it's actually gone past 10 o'clock, and I've generally really enjoyed this show. I put up a shitty status, as you said, but I've actually smiled for real reasons this week. So we'll sign off this week. Remember, Paul's going to be putting up some updates probably during the week about, obviously, if he's got cotton, the samples and stuff like that. Remember, that if you haven't subscribed, make sure you like and subscribe. We do come back every fucking Wednesday and have a rant, and I'm going to make sure next week is a happy show because there's not much going on in the scene news-wise, but we'll make sure we have a happy show next week. So we'll sign out now, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Love yous. Peace.